Close my doors. All right, so tonight we are, I had something else planned, but I'm not sure that it's gonna get done. So tonight we're gonna do a paper pumpkin. I had a car accident last week, Thursday, that was pretty bad, and I'm still in a lot of pain, and my mind's still a little confabulated. So we're gonna do a paper pumpkin, and when I'm not feeling my best, but I still want to craft or do something, paper pumpkin is the way to go. The deadline for this month's paper pumpkin and every month is always the 10th of the month. So we have a couple of days, and this month we're gonna get these cute little boxes and tags, and they're Christmas colors. There's, I think, 9 in this set. And I can show you what size I think they are based on some preview images. So let me grab a couple of those. We had a kit a few years back called Good Things Come in Small Packages. It was December of 2022, so it's like 3 years ago. And these are a little different because they have a wrap on them, and they might be a little bit bigger, but they're gonna have a cute tag, so you could probably just use the tags by itself. And then the box looks like a paper pumpkin style box. And they're the perfect size for gift cards. A Ghirardelli chocolate fits in here. So these are super cute. They're a fun way to do gifting. I know that I'm excited to get the kit because I will make some up for some of the craft fairs that I have coming up. So I'm excited you're here. If you're watching on the replay, please let me know. I'm going to tackle a paper pumpkin that we got a couple months ago because I didn't tackle it. And on Friday, I'm going to go and I'm going to teach some kids how to make this. So I'm super excited. So yay, I'm so glad you're here with me live. That's awesome. Let me make sure I mute my piece so I can see any comments. And yeah, let's make this kit. So my daughter is in a floral design class, and they have teachers who are subscribing for flowers every month. And when I got this kit, I thought it would be a really cute thank you card to the teachers who have subscribed. These kids in this floral design class, this is their 3rd year doing floral design at the high school. And this is the first year that they're doing a level 3 class, and they're offering a subscription to the teachers. And so like every month they get cool flowers delivered to their room. This is the August paper pumpkin, and it came with 2 stamp sets, which is really wild. We get some extra stamp sets usually a couple times a year. So this one has both a kind of more font heavy, I would say, stamp set, and then the other one has the really cute little teapot with the flowers that you can stick in it. You're simply the best. Thanks for your constant friendship and listening ear. Always here for you, for a great friend. For you, thank you. Love, your love. Just a note to say, forever your friend. Hello, XO. And good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other, which is really sweet. So, all right. So we're gonna make one of each of these. If you aren't familiar with paper pumpkin, I will give you some hints and tips and tricks and things. Paper pumpkin comes with pretty much everything you need except probably a pair of scissors. And the first time you subscribe, you get a clear block as well. So let me grab my clear block. The envelopes this month were super pretty. They just have a really pretty secret C top to them, so that's exciting. There are these pretty windows, so these are pretty neat. And then there's some punched pieces here that we need to punch out. They're pretty solid, but even when they're solid, I like to keep them all together when I punch them so that they don't rip, because I have been known to tear something in half. And then probably what I'll do, if you're a demonstrator and you get paper pumpkin, if you're going to teach a class with it, I like to kind of divide everything out so that it's easy for people to just like take their envelope, shake out what they need, and make the cards. So a little bit of prep can go a really long way in making your life easier when you're teaching the class. I take paper pumpkins to classes often. I think they're really fun. And I think that they're very, very pretty. These are gorgeous. So these have some pre-printed florals on the front, which are really nice. And this one, let's see. This one's just like we used to have a paper like this. It has speckles in it. I forget what it was called. Oh, it was so good though. But it's just kind of it looks like watercolor, like a heavy pound watercolor. And it's got a little bit of a heavier feel to it. And then this one has the cute, cute typewriter on it. All right, and then there's a sheet with some tags and pieces on it. I know these are gonna have to be stamped. When I'm stamping them, I like to keep them in the sheet, especially because those are very tiny. And it's harder to stamp on a little tiny piece. All right, so this one, the one that's just the oatmeal look, we're gonna stamp a little bit on the inside, and then we're gonna stamp on the outside too. The ink for this month is Secret Sea, which is a great color. And I've got my big one, so I'm just gonna get my big ink pad out. And we're gonna stamp this one. So I want all of these to say thank you. And I just don't know what I want to stamp on the inside of this one that makes the most sense for what the kids are going to use it for. Good friends are, you're simply the best. That is what we want. Perfect. So whenever I'm taking a kit to go teach, I want to make sure that I've made the cards and that they are, like I have a set ready for them so that they can touch and hold and see. The instructions we get from Stampin' Up! Are great, but it's easier to kind of see the sample. All right, so we're gonna do You're Simply the Best on the inside, and then we're gonna do this kind of longer floral stem, and we're just gonna use it to frame. So we're gonna stamp on one side and we're gonna stamp the other. I do think this paper has a little bit of a coating on it because it's not taking the ink super well, which is fine. It's a pretty cool card base with all the texture and stuff on it, but just a little different. And then on the front, we're gonna stamp the thank you on here. And the thank you is very little, so we have to find it. And then we're also going to stamp this texture. So I was watching a video today. It's a sneak peek video, and Brian Pilling and Shannon West were crafting together. And they both work for Stampin' Up! For the home office. And they're funny when they work together. They, oh, it needs to go this way. They're funny together, but Brian was saying that he always thinks of Shannon when there's something stamped on the bottom, like I guess she'd given him a set of cards years ago that had washi tape on it, and it had kind of washi running at the bottom, and he just thinks of her anytime that he gets a card like that. So I think for me, okay, sure. There we go. All right. And then we're going to add one of these windows on here. So I can see why they wanted me to go a little bit lower and out, because you can't really see that. So I'm going to double up and I'm going to go a little bit lower. Okay. No one will see that little weird shaky part. I'll cover it. So, all right. And then they give us dimensionals. So we're going to put some dimensionals on here. I think it's interesting that these cards don't have any, they don't have much embellishment. There is some twine, but we're not going to use it on this one. And then we're going to do, I'm gonna pop that label out. And we're going to do 2 on this side here. All right, so we are going to get the dimensionals off of the back. Let's see. Move these guys up. Nice. All right, so we've got this. So this has a really neat kind of torn edge on it. Gives it a lot of cool, has a coolness factor to it. And then we want this kind of edged with this. Now I will say I would need to glue that down. Like, that's probably gonna drive me crazy. So I'm gonna put just a little bit of glue right there and make sure that that piece gets glued down, because that doesn't look good to me if that's not glued down. Okay, there's card number 1. That one's not hard at all, and it's very, very pretty. Very soft. But a lovely thank you, I think, for a teacher who has subscribed to their floral subscription at the school. Simply the best. So what I'll do is I'll adapt the other cards so that they all say the same thing. That's easy to do. Okay, so the next one, we're going to... I'm going to do the typewriter. I like the typewriter. This is possibly my favorite card in the whole thing. I just love, my mom had a typewriter. I don't know. I loved it. All right, so on the inside, this one says just a note to say thank you. So I'm fine with that. We can alternate, you know, we can shift it to do that. Because I think it makes sense with, you know, what we're doing here. All right, let me put this in. Okay. So for this one, we're gonna do the same flowers, but on the inside it's gonna say to say thank you. So let's stamp the thank you first. Then we'll do the to say, which I think is a really small stamp. Mm-hmm. And then we need the just a note. And then we're gonna add the florals again to kind of frame the note. One of the reasons I like these florals on here is that it means that you don't have to write as much. So stamping on the inside of your card or putting a smaller piece of paper really reduces down the space that you need, which is great. So, okay, so we've stamped the inside, and now we're going to, we're actually gonna stamp one of these fun textures right on top of this, which seems crazy. We're gonna do it twice. So we're gonna do one here, and it's gonna come right there. And then we're gonna do another one over here, which seems crazy to me, but you know, I like to listen to what the instructions say. They always turn out cute, right? And then this is super cute. So this is the paper, and we're going to stamp just a note towards the top. Okay. And then we've got this cute little typewriter piece here. You can see it kind of fits. Let me move this up. You can see it kind of fits on there. So we're going to pop this out and we're going to slide it in, which is super cute. And then we can put some dimensionals on the back. So let's see. I will probably put one, like I'm gonna put a couple kind of on the crease here to kind of hold it flat. And then I'll do a couple kind of on the top and a couple on the bottom. These are mini dimensionals, so they've got, let's glue that down too. So they're tiny. We can have a lot on the back and it won't look weird. All right. So I've used dimensionals to kind of glue those pieces down because I could see it wanted to kind of pop forward. All right, that's super cute. And you get almost like a 3D look, right? Because you can see it behind it too. So that's pretty cute. Just a note. That's cute. So say thank you. All right. That is card number 2. That is easy. We can do this. I am feeling good about doing this tomorrow. All right. Or Friday, I guess. All right, so the last one is the bags. And this one, the outside says for you. And we're just gonna say that the inside's gonna say thank you. Or we could do simply the best. So maybe we'll do simply the best on the inside. Same concept. We could do thank you. You're simply the best. We can do a little combo. I always like it when we can combine, you know, like a cursive font and a non-cursive. So I like a good font combo. Okay. And then we're going to do, again, some stamping with the, with this pattern piece. So we're gonna kind of stamp on the left and stamp on the right, okay? And then we're going to stamp the for you on the very, very tiny tag. I think we can get a tiny little block for that. So we do include blocks, like a plain kind of D-size block in your Stampin' Up! In your paper pumpkin kit. But if you wanted to get, so sometimes I like the small ones just because they're easier to manipulate. So if you wanted to do that, that's easy. All right, so we've got our little tag. And we're gonna use a little bit of that twine, which heaven knows where it went on my surface. Oh, right in front of me, of course. Why not? All right, so for this one, we're gonna use the bag and the handle and all sorts of things to make this one really cute. We're going to use a little bit of, it says 12 inches. There's no way you need 12 inches to make this happen because we're tying a very tiny piece around a very tiny piece. So we're going to loop that through there. And if you don't have our linen thread, I highly recommend you get some. It's very useful. It is the cutest. All right, so we want the tag. Okay, we want the tag to go this way. So I actually need, oh, I stamped it upside down. That's funny. It should be on this side. Should be like going this way to the left. See? Details. Details matter. That's okay. All right, we're gonna stamp it on this side. Sometimes it's easier to tie these types of things on if you glue everything down first. So if you're having a hard time with this, or you feel like you're chasing, pieces around, you can do that. I'm going to tie it. I tied a double knot. That will help. And then I can tie, hopefully, a little bow. And that might be why people did 12 inches, just because it's a little bit easier to tie when you have more ribbon. The more length you have, usually, the easier it is. If you try to tie a bow with a tiny, tiny piece, then it gets frustrating. But you don't want a really big bow on this. Like, it look really weird. So, all right. So next week, I'm headed to Backstage. It's our leadership conference in Las Vegas. Super excited. I think we're going to get some previews and some sneak peeks at some spring catalog. We'll get a lot of training, which is super fun. We're going to take one of the dimensionals and we're actually going to cut one in half. And we're going to use, I'm going to probably get that up with my snips. We're going to use 1/2 on the back of this. And we're going to use the other half on the back of the other side of the handle. Of course, a few more guys came with him. No big deal. We've got a bag as well, so we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of the bag. That's a lot, but that's fine. And then we're going to add some of the 3D flowers too. So we're going to pop some flowers up on here. All right, so we're going to basically cover the bag that's already there. And the only reason you would do that is so that you can add to kind of the 3D look of it, so that if someone peeked on the side, they would see like more bag, right? So it's kind of cute. Then we're going to put the handle on with the little For You tag, which is super cute. Again, we're just going to kind of put it where it would replicate it and be, normal. We've got the little bow. And then we're going to take some of these flowers, take one of each. We're going to put some dimensionals behind them. That is the great thing about the minis, is that they fit right where you want them. And then we're going to put them on here. So I'm just going to put them where they would have been, right? Like where their friends would have been. I think this must be the one that goes here. And then this one goes here. So almost like overlapping a little bit in front of the little cool bag. But yeah, there you go. There's our cute little bag, the For You. So the typewriter, and we have this one, and the third one, which now I can't find because it's my desk, guys, and everything gets lost on my desk. So I'm very excited about Backstage next week. I'll be posting a lot on social media. So if you aren't on my Instagram or my Facebook, I would highly recommend that you get on that if you want to see what we're doing at Backstage and what we're looking at. And we're even going to get to do a little bit of crafting, which is fun. We haven't had crafting at Backstage. I know that seems crazy, but it's been like purely leadership stuff. And then they're throwing a big country party for us on Wednesday night. And so I don't know. Maybe I'll ride a bull. Maybe I'll make a cowboy hat. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun. So hope that you enjoyed tonight. I know that when I need an easy crafting experience, playing with a paper pumpkin is my go-to activity. I know there are some beautiful alternative projects for this one, and I think that this refill kit is still in the online store. So you can get refills of a Stampin' Up, a paper pumpkin, if you are a paper pumpkin subscriber. So you have to subscribe before you can purchase refills. This one, I think the refills do all the work because the stamps are really just sentiment stamps. And the refill, this is how it'll actually come packaged in a paper pumpkin, and you'll have everything that you need. The only thing you won't get is the stamps and ink, but they're also more affordable. So the refills are like maybe $14 or something. And so it's a great way to play with a kit. If you find some older kits that you want to play with, or maybe you saw some samples or you saw some alternative cards, because I know there are a lot of really cute alternatives with these. So anyway, I'm super glad that you joined today. I will put my paper pumpkin subscription link down below, and I hope you enjoyed these. I actually want to hear which one's your favorite. So is it the back or the typewriter or the window? Which one's your favorite? Let me know. And thanks for joining. I appreciate you guys day in and day out, all the time. I appreciate you. We found out today I got level 1 sales achievement for this past year, because our year ends at the end of September. So it's a great achievement. And we had 17 people join our team in October. October was a huge recruiting month. And so it's not too late. It's never too late to join Stampin' Up. If you want to come along for the ride, be part of the journey, we'd love to have you. Again, thanks so much, Melissa Thomas, C2C Stamping. Bye, y'all. See you later.